BDRXs will be 2 to 4 day rides, and they loop. So it gives the riders the opportunity to jump into the track at any point, northeast, south, or west. This particular BDRX is broken into 4 sections. And each section ends in a town that has hotels and food and supplies, or there's plenty of opportunities to camp.
We're just about ready to start the PA Wilds BDR-X near New Columbia. Perfect day. Sun just came out.
So BDRX can be a spur off an existing BDR, or it can be a brand new route in a state we don't even have a BDR yet. This particular one, the PA Wilds BDR-X, the east side of this route is Section 8 of the MABDR. So day 1 for us was Section 8 of the MABDR, and then we headed west out into the PA Wilds. I really like Pennsylvania as a riding area. There's plenty of opportunities for off-pavement riding where there's not that much in the neighboring states like New Jersey and New York. So I've been riding out in Pennsylvania for a very long time, and I'm glad that we're creating more and more BDR opportunities in the state.
So we're at the start of the Duncan Drivable Trail. This is an optional section. We have 3 drivable trails on the first section to make it a little bit more interesting for those that want a challenge.
Whoa! I think I'm stuck on a rock, and I've got a big one in front of me too.
Yeah, I can get rid of this one.
It's gonna hit my skid plate. There you go, man, thank you. But we just came through the Duncan Drivable Trail. And man, it was a great little challenge. Helps you have a little bit of ground clearance, but this is a really wonderful way to get a quick sweat on at the start of your ride.
First sort of off-roadish type trail of the route. Giggled the whole way. A little rocky, a little grassy, a little off-camber, but nothing too crazy. So a really good break-in for the rest of the ride.
Day 1 was off to a great start until we took a turn up a drivable trail. I thought it was hard pack. It was slimy mud. I whacked the throttle a little bit too hard, the rear end stepped out, and I parked it right into a tree. Good news, Touratech crash bars did their job, and I didn't get hurt. Bad news, it took us about 30 to 45 minutes to MacGyver the bike back into shape so it was rideable. The BDR community had been asking for a while for more than just one route a year. Doing a full-size BDR expedition is a heavy lift for the organization. So it wasn't likely that we'd be able, at this current time, be able to pull off more than one of those a year. However, smaller routes, absolutely. And our plan is to try to roll out 1, 2, 3 a year in the coming years.
What are we doing right now?
We're gassing up for the adventure of a lifetime.
I like to ride, and I like to ride specifically off pavement because it gives me a chance to disconnect from a screen. It also gives me a challenge that keeps me in the moment.
We've got a really great cast on this filming expedition. We've got Jack O'Connor of Pine Barrens 500 fame. He was also in our MABDR expedition. We've got Melia Nunn from the Revit Women's Adventure Team. And we've got Carl Parker from ADV Moto Magazine.
The terrain has been a really nice mix. I mean, most of it is really just flowy gravel, and the route has been set up such that, you know, if you want to have slightly more challenging sections, you can do that too. But it's really a fantastic variety, and this is really even just day 1. So, you know, we have a lot more to come.
Day 2 of the PA Wilds starts in Wellsboro, goes through to the town of Renovo, and then after that we head north again and into the Hammersley Wild area, and then over to St. Mary's.
BDR tip of the day, dealing with dust. It's going to be pretty common for you to deal with dusty road conditions. Best thing you can do is kind of back up a little bit, space it out, maximize your visibility for a safe, fun ride. Beep beep.
What's your name?
My name's Jack O'Connor.
But there's a sign behind you that says the O'Connor Trail. What's that all about?
I have no idea why they call it the O'Connor Trail, but think of me when you drive it, and that'll make me happy.
So the BDRX concept is going to be very similar to our full-size routes. What I mean by that is we're going to offer the same resources that we do for the big routes, just smaller. So there's going to be a landing page on the website for the PA Wilds BDR-X, and you'll be able to look at the interactive map. You'll be able to download a PDF of a printable map that you can put in your tank bag. Butler Maps is going to help assist with us on creating those tank bag maps. You can also research the route, the resources, where to stay, where to camp, where to get food and supplies. It'll all be there on that landing page.
I'm Amelia Nunn. I am a member of the Women's Revit Adventure Team, and I'm here riding the PA Wilds BDR-X. I've ridden a couple BDRs, or at least pieces of them. So Colorado, Idaho, Utah, MABDR, Northeast BDR. So this week's BDR is a little bit different from the other BDRs. It's a little bit more mellow, it's shorter, but it still gives you the beautiful scenery, the great roads, but it's a really good warm-up BDR. I'm riding my KTM 1090, which is actually not my normal bike. I normally ride a dirt bike.
The big bike with all the gear on it is a whole nother beast.
It's nice. It's a little bit cloudy this morning. It's cool. It sprinkled a little bit overnight, so the dust is down just a little bit. But so far, we've had a little bit of pavement and a mixture of gravel, and it's looking really good.
Day 2 differs from day 1. It gets a little bit more scenic, I think. Gets a little bit more twisty-turny, a little bit more dirt. There is a really cool pavement section in the middle, and then we get back into the deep old-growth forest. Today we're starting in St. Mary's. The reason we're in St. Mary's, it's the only place in the area that has a hotel and some food. So we're heading back east to pick up the course. We head pretty much south the whole day. We end up in State College.
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys the top reasons that I can think of why you would ride the PA Wilds BDR-X. Number 1, you just got a new bike and you want to get to know it and have a couple days to do that. Number 2, you don't have the total number of days it takes to do a full BDR. You only have 4 days. Number 3, you dislike your friends after 4 days and only want to spend time with them for 4 days. Number 4, the MABDR is way too short and you want to tack on 3 extra days, 4 extra days. Perfect trip for all of those reasons.
Projects like the BDR have been extremely helpful because it takes a lot of the guesswork out of a lot of the trip planning, which can be extremely complicated, just so anyone else can have an easier time exploring the U.S. and making their dream come true.
So we're at the Elk State Forest elk viewing area. This area here used to be a strip mine, and it was reclaimed by the DCNR, turned into an elk sanctuary. And fortunately, there's no elk right now, but right time of year, this place is full of them. We're heading there now to the Elk State Forest Visitor Center, which is a world-class elk resource facility. Triple X.
BDR tip of the day, small bikes. Are small bikes good for BDR routes? Answer to that, resounding yes. Everyone likes their own type of ride, but I always recommend a smaller bike to learn your low traction chops. There are a lot of benefits to it. One, it's easier on the consumables. It's also easier on your body. I'm riding a Himalayan. It's a 410, smallest bike in the group. And except for areas where we're on the highway, riding 25 to 35 miles an hour on back roads is not an issue. Also convinced it's less fatiguing in the long run. So small bikes, yes. Lots of benefits, and it's even recommended, especially for routes like this BDRX out here in the PA Wilds. It's really nice, and I'm really enjoying it.
Day 4 is pretty cool. It starts in State College, goes through Rothrock State Forest, which is typical gravel, twisty roads. Then we head back into Whipple Dam State Forest, beautiful Scenic. We cross over into Bald Eagle State Forest, and if my memory serves me correctly, there's a couple of drivable trails that are on the main route, then some more twisty-turny scenic stuff, and back to New Columbia.
What I really love doing is going through the old forests. I love old trees. We were riding through some of the areas with the ferns and stuff like that. That's just this thick fern undergrowth. I love the old forests.
Everybody thinks of BDRs as this ultimate adventure, and they are, especially if you do the entire thing. But you can break a BDR down into a couple day long trip, or you can do something like this, which is a shorter trip, which really gets you to experience those trails without being an insurmountable something you've planned for 6 months. It doesn't have to be the entire thing for you to stick the sticker on your bike and say you've done it. Really just get out there and try it, and you'll have fun.
What we're doing now is we're headed to the end of a hero section where we hope to catch Amelia and Tim coming through some mud puddles. So let's see how it goes.
There we go.
Dartback Hollow, which is a gnarly, swampy, rutty, wet 4 or 5 mile section that is an option maybe 10 miles from the end. So if you want to get wet and dirty, and you do, you don't have too much time left to ride with your boots full of water.
What are we heading into?
We're heading into the unknown.
Nice.
Guys, I have a really serious question.
Yeah.
Why is it black?
You don't want to know.
After the big puddle, I remember it being real bad.
Went from cool to good to really good to awesome.
I got wet.
Went from 2-track, disintegrated into mud 2-track for a long stretch, and then just went to a rocky uphill climb and then back into the mud to end off.
Speaking of potentially dirty and wet, I think I did both.
This is an optional section on the PA Wilds BDR-X. It's at the end of section 4, which is our final day of riding. If you're up for getting a little bit dirty, potentially wet, get out there and have some fun.
It was so good. For the record, Tim is also dirty and wet. You just can't see it. And Tim went through a puddle. He dared me to go through after him. He fell, and so I had to fall twice as bad just to make him feel better.
I would say that probably my favorite part about this was riding with everybody and having a chance to share the experience with the crew. And I hope other people also have that opportunity and take the time to do it.
This BDRX, the PA Wilds, is an extension of the MABDR, so it's a little bit more of what the MABDR is. To take that concept one step further, the BDRX that's out here in PA Wilds is a great entry for the new rider, or for someone who's transitioning from, say, riding small bikes now to adventure bikes. However, like we say about all routes, research it, go to the website, learn about what you're getting yourself into, and if you're brand new to riding adventure rides, get out there and get some training. It really helps.
We're in the middle of nowhere and loving it.